fasting. Today we're joined by Bradley Walters. Bradley, welcome.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. So why don't you kick off day 9 with reading our scripture for today?
Yeah, our scripture today comes from Romans 12, verse 15 and 16. It says, "Be happy with those who are happy, weep with those who weep, live in harmony with each other. Don't be too proud to enjoy the company of ordinary people, and don't think you know it all." And I think harmony is what it kind of wraps up and sums up this passage. And everybody loves the idea of harmony. Everybody's 100% for harmony, but oftentimes they just think about it too late. So they're not preparing their lives to be in harmony. The only time that they think about harmony is whenever it's already gone. There's dysfunction, disunity in whatever their situation may be. And because of that, then they're like, oh, I need to figure out how to make things, get things back into place, get things back in harmony. And oftentimes people just aren't prepared.
Yeah, I think that's so true. I mean, the time when I notice when I'm frustrated is already when the difficulty is happening. Mm-hmm. And I think that's such a good point. I mean, are our lives preparing ourselves to live in harmony, to act out harmony? So for people out there that are like, man, I've never thought of it that way, what would you say to them in order that they could do to help them prepare themselves to live a life of harmony?
Yeah, I think the main thing is it's impossible to live in harmony, in perfect harmony, if you don't have God's heart for people. Mm-hmm. It's hard to really care about people and live in harmony if you don't have God's heart, if you don't view people in the way that God views people, if you aren't looking to show them love, show them kindness, show them mercy, and also speak truth into their lives, it's very, very difficult to live in that harmony without having His heart for them.
Yeah, and when we were talking, you brought up this interesting comparison between harmony and holiness, and how the marriage of these two things is really what brings about biblical harmony in our lives. Can you kind of unpack that a little bit?
Yeah, so holiness is, the meaning of holiness is to be set apart. It's set apart from the world, and oftentimes, as I was reading this, it was me struggling to figure out, okay, if we're supposed to be set apart from the world, if God has called us to be set apart from it, how are we also supposed to live in harmony with it? Because this verse doesn't give any caveats. It doesn't give any kind of disclaimers of saying, well, if they don't agree with you, if somebody doesn't believe the same things that you believe, then you can't live in harmony with them. You don't have to live in harmony. It is, no, just live in harmony with each other. And so for us, God has called us to live holy, but He's also called us to live in harmony. And I would argue that living in harmony with people, the only way to live in harmony with them is to be holy. I mean, if you look at the world right now, we live in a world that is so broken, so dysfunctional. There is no harmony. Even with people who live the way that the world wants to live, there's no harmony in that. So the only way that I would say to live in harmony with that would be to live a holy life, a life that is pleasing to God, a life that allows grace, kindness, but also truth to be spoken into people's lives. And then you see the fruit of God pouring out into your relationships with other people.
Yeah, when I think about the last line of that verse you read earlier that says, "And don't think you know it all." Man, I think that's so important in this discussion of harmony, because we can always so easily think that we know it all, or we are right. How do you think that plays into harmony?
Yeah, I think that for me, if you think about harmony as like a song, if you have a song that's being put together and it's got all of these different notes that are being played, and harmony is used oftentimes in that, the only way to have a harmony is to have different notes being played at the same time, and they all come together as one to make this beautiful sound. And I think that's how God has created us. He hasn't created us all to think the same, to look the same, and oftentimes we equate our preferences with things that are right and wrong. I 100% believe that there are things that are right and there are things that are wrong. But I also think that we, as human nature, we think that we're always right. We're always the ones we're the baseline of normal. And I don't think that that's the way that God has set us up to be able to bring glory to His name. I think each one of us recognizing that each one of us has a role and a part to play can really help us out with the harmony of life.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's so good. And that's a lot to chew on, a lot to think about. So thank you so much for bringing your thoughts and bringing the truth today. We loved having you. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in to day 9 of our 21 days of prayer and fasting. We'll see you tomorrow for day 10.